Hey, welcome everybody to Skottie Talk, episode 24 with Dustin or Tyler and Dustin. I
Hello,
forgot my
hello.
name for a second. Hey, Tyler, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. Yourself?
Oh, no, nothing good. We had a competition in our Skottie cover March Madness bracket just in, and this is breaking. I'll announce it on the show. Uh, John won by a score of 67 to 18. So,
Wow.
congratulations, John.
Yes.
He has moved on to the next round, and unfortunately, I think I think our first comment of the night is from the person that John defeated.
Oh
Yes,
no.
it's Corey. So I'm sorry, Corey. My condolences on that. It turns out it wasn't as close as it looked, but that's a rough way to put it. So told you I didn't have a chance. Hey, you've always got a chance when it comes to a group of people voting for a cover. You never know which ones they're going to like. And you went with old school Skottie, and you had a shot, but John took you as soon as I posted that. John had like 20 votes before I even
Yeah.
hit publish. So, you never. It wasn't. It
It's
wasn't.
it's a tough. Again, it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, whether or not if we had like some of the brackets branched off and had like an older covers versus old covers, versus modern, like kind of split them up and see how it does. Because Alpha Flight is not one that I would have thought would have been chosen, but was really cool to see because of the fact that it's not one that I would have thought would have been chosen. So not to say that it's not a good cover. It's just that again, everything being so fresh in our minds with how many came out last year.
Yeah, it was hard to beat any book from 2024. 2024 was such a banner year. It was hard to beat that. And with John's Infinity Gauntlet of covers from the big Marvel series to get the 27-1, all I'll say is Canada, elbows down is that the opposite of what they say? Am I saying it wrong?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Now I look like an idiot. Elbows up is like a hockey term. I've heard a lot of.
Oh, maybe I have. I'm not a big hockey person. So
Mike Myers said it during Saturday Night Live. He's like elbows up, but that's what. Anyway, I digress. We're entering uncharted territory. I know little about hockey, and I think Tyler knows less than I do now. That
I would agree with that.
Okay. And Attack of the Baby covers. That is kind of been the.
It's a tough, baby love is big with Skottie, so baby cover love.
And we're canceled. All right, Universal Monsters. Let's switch the subject to something even more scarier than what Tyler just said. Today was a big day for the Skottie Shop. 2 for the price of 1, for the price of 2, I should say.
I was gonna say for the price of 2, yeah.
Covers dropped today, including the Mummy Shop, the latest in Skottie's line of Universal Monsters. So we were going to take a look back at the different covers that Skottie has released, plus venture into what may come. Hey, Becker, what's going on?
Howdy.
So we can't forget Becker, who will be. Megan had sent out a newsletter today as well, talking about Planet Comic-Con. So we're looking forward to having Becker on here the week after Planet Comic-Con so he can discuss how much fun that show is after he hangs out with Skottie and Adam Hughes and Pat Gleason and Doug Mankey. All the guys are going to be there.
Artists, yeah.
So, that's right. Skottie Shop Special Order. 2 books, pay for both of them. That's right. But they're both well worth the price. Nice low edition sizes. So we'll jump right into our Universal Monsters. How the theme started, kind of, and this is where you do the flashback. We go all the way back to a more simpler time, back in 2007. And this is a book that Skottie wrote. Actually, it's his first published work, if you read my note that I put up there at the top in 2007. But it was also interiors done by him and colors by a very popular colorist. But, Tyler, have you ever read this story? Because I have not.
I have not. No, I have Werewolf by Night #1. I'm pretty sure I got recently, but I hadn't read it yet. No, so it's on my list.
It is, and seeing some of the because Jean Francois. How do you say his name again, Tyler?
I don't think anybody. I just refer to him as Jean now, with like a little Jean, like the French kind of way of saying it. But Jean-Francois, and then it's always the last name is the below that most people unfortunately get wrong. So hey, Steve and Skottie, had trouble with it for a number of years. So I think we're all off the hook.
All right, thank goodness. So JFB has a blog that he
There
used
we
to.
go, JFB. I like that.
Yes, I don't know if this is still an accurate or up to date blog that's still active, but this is something that he had posted back in 2013 that showed some of the interiors that Skottie had worked on that he had colored. And after looking at this, really, I think I was, waiting on one of the kids at a ball game or something, and I found this site and I pulled some of these pictures, and this is a really incredible. I mean, you see some of this, the up close panel up there on the far left page is really incredible artwork. I bet, and he's talked about how much fun he had coloring this book.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, I love the colors, the red for sure, popping. And even like the muted colors and tones of like the skin tone and stuff. Yeah, no, it's really striking. That page, especially on the left there, that leftmost one is super striking.
Yeah, to me that was the one that really stood out. And I'd made an error. I'd like downloaded or copied a bunch of these pages, and then I posted them into our slide to get it ready, and I forgot what order they went into. And I thought, oh no, I'm going to mess up the story. But I went back to his blog and found it. Here's the last 3 pages that he had posted on that night. Back in 2013, and just really incredible work all the way around. But this being Skottie's first published work, to me, it kind of set the tone for the covers that would come, many years later and be exclusive to the Skottie Shop. And thankfully, Image has started producing these minis of the Universal Monsters to give Skottie the opportunity to draw the covers for such.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, and honestly, again, I've been back because I've collected them, but then I don't crack them open to read. That's always like my struggle with collecting Skottie stuff. I get so wrapped up in the cover art that he does that's so awesome that I forget that there's a story in there worth reading as well. And generally only because you'll collect Marvel ones and it's issue 723 of Spider-Man or something, and it's in the middle of some big arc and story, and you're like, well, there's no reason to jump in here because I wouldn't be able to follow. So I think that's why I'm generally always kind of thrown off. But yeah, I really need to give these Universal Monster ones a read. So
yeah, it's really cool. I mean, that's one of the perks about having Skottie writing as many titles as he's written now is because they start with issue 1. So you don't have to know a wealth of knowledge of the different comics to be able to understand what's going on. And it gives you a little bit of a fresh start. And good thing about Image, even this book that Skottie did the cover for today, that he's at the other exclusive that wasn't the Mummy, that I can't remember the name of the title is why I'm saying it the way I am. I'd never heard of that book until I saw that it was going to be a Skottie Shop exclusive. And then I printed the little description for it, and I was like, oh man, that sounds like a good story. And it's only, I think, 6 issues, so it'll be a complete story. But it sounds engaging enough for me to go to the comics shop and actually pick
the one
it up.
we're taking everyone down with us is what you're referring to. Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Yeah, like you said, I wasn't aware of it until they posted that quote from Skottie, and then like you said, I was like, oh, that's cool. Always interesting to see, an artist supporting somebody else's work or in the industry and stuff. So like you said, I also went and read the plot for like the summary, and I was like I was also like, oh, this sounds really cool and interesting. Like, not only do I want it for the cover art, but I want it for the story as well, which is always super nice. So
exactly.
what's going on, Dre?
And like you said, a lot of the Skotties, the Image comics and maybe independent comics that he's did covers for, I haven't been able to read them, but there have been a few that's made me actually pick up the book and read it elsewhere. And I'm sure that's appreciative of the different writers and artists that are producing that book to be able to get a name like Skottie endorsing it and making other people want to read it. So we can now start the show, Tyler. Dre is here, so all is right with the world.
Exactly.
All right, so that brings us to the very first, the one that kicked off the series of Universal Monster covers by Skottie, the Dracula #1, which had a nice edition size of 1,000. And it's, as I was looking at this cover, it made me think of the remark that one of the members of the Skottie Young Appreciation Group got. of the Nosferatu standing behind Dracula. I don't know if you
Yes.
remember seeing that one, but that was a really cool remark, and it fit really well with this cover.
Yeah. No, it's a super fun one, especially with the Nosferatu movie. Not remake, but I mean, I guess remake at that point. That had
Yeah,
come out,
yeah.
but yeah, no, it's again, it was such a striking one. I love the lettering they chose. That's one of my more favorite parts of a Dracula movie is what typeface they go with, or
Oh,
typography, just because it's so generally calligraphic, if I've got that word correctly.
it
And
sounds right.
written wise, but yeah, again, and it's funny too looking at it because I know I brought up the mummy being on a white background, and for some reason I thought the Dracula. I knew there was the moon, but for some reason I was under my own impression that, or remembering that it wasn't a white background, it was something else. But it is. It's a clear white background here, with the moon. But again, it makes it so striking, and it makes sense. It really makes Dracula pop off the cover,
Yes,
and again,
a
just
pale
looking at the
character.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yellow
yeah.
just really pop. Yeah,
And the bats too. I mean, I love when he does like the whole characters in like into the negative space, like the negative space, the bats fill the void at the bottom there. And again,
hmm
that moon, I love the moon, the color of it, like there's this big yellow. Honestly, it would be just as fitting if he would have done something like that for a werewolf cover, hopefully, of which we can talk about later. But
yeah.
yeah, no, it's as soon as he announced these, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Because again, I'm generally really bad about looking into the future of comic releases, like what's coming up, what's coming out, what potentially could get a Skottie, cover, what potentially couldn't. Um, I'm just kind of in the here and the now kind of moment. So when it's announced, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know about
I
that,
know.
or oh, I'll see it at the comic store and go, oh, I didn't know about that, and then I'll pick it up and flip through. So
Now, and the first thing I thought of when I saw this cover for the first time is that little phrase, "When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie."
that's
That's
more like
yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, and we lost 2 viewers almost immediately for that. But real quick, you mentioned Nosferatu. Have you seen Nosferatu yet? My wife
I
keeps saying,
did. Yes, I did. Yes.
"Is it
Uh,
as boring as it looks?" Or
No, it's I mean, it's one of those things where it's very intense and creepy.
Okay,
I
it
mean,
looks
again, it's fitting. It feels like those old monster movies because again, eh, boring as a term that gets thrown around so much. I feel like with media nowadays, unfortunately, and it's we've
yeah.
become we've
I'm,
become
I'm,
so
I'm basic. I'm basic.
I no I think of we want action and all that kind of stuff, but no, we went and saw it. My brother is a huge fan of the director. He did one of his favorite movies, The Lighthouse, with Robert Pattinson,
Oh
which
gosh,
I will say that
yeah.
at least for me wasn't for me kind of a movie. So
You
I
lost
knew,
another viewer, Tyler. You
yeah,
mentioned the
I knew we'd get something weird, but no, it was good. It was really intense. The actors did a phenomenal job with it, and it was a super interesting take on it. So.
Yeah, I mean, just Holt and Defoe are worth watching it. I mean, those
Oh
two
yeah,
actors. Are-
100%. Yeah.
But you almost when you start thinking monsters and you start thinking like, where did it all start from? Where did our love of monsters start? It wasn't that type of more stylistic movie. And I don't know, you may be too young to even have seen this movie before, but do you remember the movie Monster Squad?
Yes, yeah, Monster Squad, yep, and, like, the
Okay, that
TV show and stuff as well, or
no, this was like a 1980s movie about a bunch of kids that are growing up against a group of like almost like the Universal monsters, and it was
Mm.
not. Yeah, I tried watching it when I got older. It wasn't the same, but as a kid, I loved the movie. It was one of my favorite movies. I've memorized the lines to it, and I would say them over and over again. But
That's cool. I hadn't actually, yeah, looking at this, but now it's on my radar, so
no, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Let it live on in my memory.
everyone needs a bad movie night, so
Yeah, you'll message me and be like, "Why did you recommend this?" And I'll be like, I'm giving you a warning now. If you're going to watch it, make sure you got a good backup for it." But I loved it as a kid, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed it in that era of our movie viewing childhood. But
I was gonna say it's funny because yeah, I mean, my introduction was the classic Universal monster movies. That's what our dad showed us was the original Dracula, the original Mummy, like the those
You
classic.
did get to see those when you were younger.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, those were some of his favorites, and we really liked him. And I especially remember watching again Creature from the Black Lagoon. That one was really good, and then Wolfman as well, and then the remakes and stuff that have come out that we've watched and been interested in as a family. So yeah, no, it's Universal Monsters. Yeah, I've always been a part of our family for sure. So
well, whenever I was, gosh, approximately probably 12 or 13 years old, seeing the Universal Rock and Roll concert at Universal Studios, one of the few times I went to Florida as a kid, and I just remember how cool that was with Beetlejuice leading the music and all of them playing and sitting by a
oh
speaker
yeah,
so loud that as a young child I thought it was going to give me a heart attack. I was an old man. It was like, but that was really, other than Monster Squad, that was like, oh, this is what Universal Monsters are. They play rock and roll music. They're not scary at all.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, hits from the 80s and 90s.
I like that.
But I digress once again. All right, the next book that came in the series was speaking of the Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, #1, which also has advanced in our Skottie Cover March Madness bracket challenge. But this book, if you see the one on the left, the image on the left, it was a sketch or a commission that Skottie had did roughly back in 2007, I think is what it says at the bottom down there. And he was able to kind of take that and add new life into it. That's his second book, and you see the edition size bumped up from 1,000 to 1,200 on this one, back when it was released in April of last year.
Yeah, no, this is a fantastic one. And again, it's always really cool. I wonder if that's what jumps to his mind is like, hey, I remember that commission I did of Creature, back in 2007. Like, again, it seems like he takes as, like you said, an opportunity to almost retackle it in a way, or to approach it, to see how he would approach it differently today than he did back then. Same with some of the other more recent covers that we've seen from him. So I love the Dracula, but this one was immediate like, oh, this is my favorite. Like, I love this one for sure, hands down. Again, just because it's one of my more favorite of the monster creatures, but also just how it just fits the character so well. And as we'll dive into a little bit more in the next slide. I just loved him showing the process and breaking down like how he tackled this piece and everything. So yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. And he took it, and like Tyler said, back in April 24th, 2024. For any of you all out there watching this now or later that aren't a member of Skottie's Substack newsletter, please sign up for it. There's all kinds of good stuff released in there. There's the announcements for the exclusives that came out today, and there's also just these type of stories that kind of show you the process behind it of how these covers were created. And you can see Skottie where he did like the digital drawing on the far left, and then he actually inked out a drawing in the middle and decided I'm not 100% satisfied with that, so he did another one. And you can tell the difference between the before and after about kind of how the process, or how this drawing evolved into what the final cover eventually became.
And I love it too. And I'll reference a movie that I just happened to watch today, and a quote that feels very fitting. But rewatching what is becoming one of my more favorite movies, The Devil Wears Prada, there's a quote where they're holding up belts, and Anne Hathaway laughs, and she's like, "Well, they're the same belt. I don't get it." And she oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the actress's name, not Marilyn Monroe.
Glenn Close, Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt was in it. It was Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. Oh my gosh!
I know. I was like Glenn Close.
I said Glenn Close instead of Meryl Streep.
It's honestly fitting. I could very well see Glenn Close fitting into that role perfectly.
No. I'm sorry. That was all my mistake. I picked Meryl Streep and said Glenn Close.
No, but she breaks down why they're not the same, and everything is different and stuff. But it's so easy to, I think, for some to look at these drawings and go, oh, it's the same. What did he change besides it's just not as dark. But again, it's just subtle differences that make the second one the one that he decided to go with. Whether it's the left leg pose and getting to see a little bit more of the feet or the back, hand, his left hand being a little bit more open. And again, choosing to not ink it as much, to then allow maybe some more of the color to show and stuff. So, again, this is the stuff that like everyone doesn't see. Everyone doesn't see the amount of sketches and drawings that's done to lead up to a cover. So,
Yeah.
like you said, I love, love. These are some of my favorite posts. As soon as I see one, I generally drop everything as soon as I see a Skottie post, read through it, make sure I can try to be one of the first to comment. But these for sure, I get lost and I'm like, oh man, this is so
Bragging
cool. I
rights.
love to be able to see, the process and everything. So yeah, I was really glad when he shared this one. Like I said, especially just because I love the cover so much. So
Tyler, I really thought you were going to say this is bringing up a movie that it's coming to all my I was right there with you. I was like, The Shape of Water, The Shape of Water. We're getting
no,
the
Shape of
devil
Water,
wears
yeah,
Prada. Yes.
I watched that one once. I should watch it again. It wasn't that it was bad. It just again wasn't for me. But it was a good movie. Guillermo del Toro, does great films.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if anything, I'd watch Hellboy again to get some Abe Sapien in there. So
There you go. There you go.
similar
Okay.
similar enough aquatic creature.
You just got me off guard on that one. But the
I
point
knew
you
I
made
would. So
was
that's why I
legit.
was building up to it so well. So
I appreciate that. We learned so much about each other on these live shows. But the rest of the process, anytime you can bring up a boy drawing and reincorporate that into a background for what would eventually become the cover, blending those two images together, the after and the middle, created the image that you see on the far right, which is, as Skottie pointed out in his Substack newsletter, it was there was some tips that were given by the image, asking him to make it a cooler cover. So and Skottie's like, he normally doesn't get a whole lot of suggestions back and forth, but somebody that I guess Image was wanting it to have a certain tone to it, and both of them work. I mean, I think both of them would have worked really well. I like the blue. It was I think that was a nice suggestion. If you're gonna suggest something like this to someone like Skottie, who's very artistically prone, I would think that it better work, and thankful for them that it does. I think the blue does work well.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it feels very creature. I mean, again, some of the shots I can think back of, like in the movie, where he's underwater and we get to see him kind of Sasquatch style, but it's subtle enough we get him where it makes him the focal point. Whereas I think, yeah, on the left, I really like that burnish kind of old school film type look, but yeah, there's just something about that cool color and the green on him that just really makes him pop. But like you said, I loved reading again how he tried digitally to recreate the watercolor background. It wasn't
Yeah,
working, and then just decided, hey, I'm just gonna do watercolor. Like, just do it then. I don't need to. And again, it's one of the things I love about Skottie. Again, he doesn't overthink things. I overthink things a lot when it comes to art. So it's always nice to somebody like, oh yeah, I just was like, hey, this isn't working. Cool. All right, let's just do something else then, and that works. All right, awesome. So
it's just fascinating to even see the space left in the middle of the watercoloring. For it's almost like a puzzle piece where you could fit it in perfectly there. So, and maybe
it's
blue lines, maybe the digital blue lines there for it, but that's still
yeah.
pretty
I was gonna say I'm assuming you cut it out and then put it on top or scan it in that way or something to
that
connect
would make
it
so much more sense than what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm thinking of him being ever so careful not to. But yeah, what you're saying is like, yeah, okay, that's probably what happened.
Yeah, he just I'm sure left it blank so that way he knew kind of a rough spot of where to place the character and stuff. So
that seems more logical, right on. So the next book in the line is, and this one, to have like the solid back color, the lightning strikes coming on Frankenstein's monster, I guess I should say, is really incredible. It's such a nice touch. And to see the pencils, the inks over there on the left versus what the final cover was, incredible. And this one jumped up to 1,500 from 1,000 to 1,200 to 1,500. So this one's probably been my favorite of the four that have been revealed so far.
And I was gonna say it's interesting because it's kind of hard to see for sure, but One thing I just noticed looking at it is that on the inks, it looks like he left his eyes completely covered, whereas the final image for the cover, they actually gave him the pinpoint eyes, just the little tiny beady eyes. Which again, it's such a again, it's such a subtle thing, but I like it. There's something about like seeing his eyes. It almost kind of like humanizes him a little bit more, which again is I think a focal point of Frankenstein monster story, about, he's the monster of this creator, but it's not like he has to be, he was resurrected from multiple body parts and brought back and people hate him. But yeah, like you said, I love the lightning coming off of him, classic, the story of him, the, electricity bringing him to life and everything. So yeah, it's again, there's just something, there's a reason why we're still seeing stuff about the Universal monsters, why they're building a new theme park, Universal itself. Again, these are just classic tales that we like to relive and retell and everything. So yeah, it was another great addition to the series so far.
And great call out on the eyes. I zoomed in on that picture, and yeah, they're completely black on the inked version. So very, very nice kid.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to see. I almost want to color him in on the final image to see what it would look like. But again, such a small addition. But again, it's one that I quite like. So, and another one with these two is the whole like watercolor kind of effect and look. I really like that about, we didn't get that on Dracula, but again, something about it just really fits into that monster universe. So
I think I just kind of looking at this could be a before and after. Like the one on the left is before he has the lightning strike, and the one on the right is what kind of brought him to life. So
true, yeah, that's what gives him.
We're telling a story. We're telling a story here tonight, Tyler. This is a beautiful story that we're conveying to the people.
Exactly.
That's all I got on that one. All right. And the edition size came down a little bit on this one, but I could see that for the Mummy, where the Mummy, if Frankenstein and Dracula are kind of your A-list, I think the Mummy would be more of a. Is this a hot take?
It might be a hot take. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, like Dracula and Frankenstein are the starters, and the Mummy and the Wolf. Well, who we'll talk about later, is like the B team, and Creature's kind of a C team. Is that? Am I digging a hole deeper?
I don't know. It's tough. It's one of those things where I could, everyone is so opinionated on which monster they like more, and you could kind of go based off of the release of them and who came first, kind of a deal. But I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. Like you said, we see less Creature stuff. I'd say like out of all of them, we definitely see Dracula probably the most, as well as Frankenstein and even I'd say Wolfman more than for sure, like Creature or even potentially Mummy. Especially ever since the Brendan Fraser movies, or even the Tom Cruise remake. But I don't know. Yeah, this one holds a special place just because again, I grew up on those Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, and we absolutely loved them. They're one of the most quoted movies in our household growing up. Was those. So I love those mummies. The original classic. I like Creature and Frankenstein and Dracula more. But still, it's still very, very awesome. So
I saw that Brendan showed up at a screening for the Mummy the other day, dressed like his character Rick. I can't think of his character's last name, but he's each time he shows up on out in different areas, he's looking more and more fit. Rick O'Connell, that's it.
I was like, if I don't get this, I'm going to be really annoyed. So
no, I thought it was something like that, but I didn't want to mess it up. But I'm hoping they reboot that series eventually. I think he's starting to get more and more in shape. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's just they were just fun. They were obviously different. It's more about the action and stuff than it was about the Mummy Creature himself. Even though he was just as terrifying in the updates, but yeah, personal favorites of mine besides I still have yet to watch the Jet Li one, the last one that they did. I've just heard it's not great, but I still want to give it the watch through because I love Brennan, like I said, so much. And I was lucky enough to meet him at MegaCon a few years back and grab a photo with him. But
Oh, cool.
yeah, it would definitely be fun, to see a remake, not a Tom Cruise remake, because that was not so great. But yeah.
Oh no. All right, so we got Ryan has now joined us,
Hello,
and
hello.
Will Blanco. I'd like to know what you prefer us to call you. We'll try to call you whatever you want to. But Blanco, I don't mind calling you that, or Will. But glad to have you on. Your his bracket just kicked off, so so he's got to come on here and push Shuri number one. Whoa, you know I like to, that'll get you
No,
banned off. Will is
yeah,
fine. Okay,
exactly.
we'll just
Yeah,
call
we'll
you
have to
Will.
put Britain in the timeout corner. So
Yeah, no, we don't talk about the Tom Cruise. There was an issue with the Tom Cruise when he was against the Funko Pop of his figure, his character in the new Mummy, that just made me not like that movie altogether.
oh really? I don't know if I remember that being talked about.
He didn't
So
want his likeness to be out there, and they end up, there was a few that they produced that kind of bled out into the wild, and uh, they had a pretty hefty price tag for a while. But
oh, I'm sure. Yeah, the Funko world goes crazy. So
I got to go vote. You already voted, I think. I saw. I've got your bracket pulled up here. I'm trying to see
there we
who's
go.
winning. I'm like watch. It's like watching March Madness, except it is like watching March
So
Madness.
supposedly he thought he looked too short. Yeah.
It's a Funko Pop. They're all short. But I will not.
Um,
I've slowed down on my Funko Pop buying, but I'm really hoping that a I Hate Fairyland series gets released, so I can
I've
kick those
been
off.
meaning, and I don't want to say it because then it's like almost like I'm upholding that I need to create them. But I've always wanted to do fan art creations of some Funko Pops, Darksiders being one, and then I Hate Fairyland, or even one of Skottie himself. I would love to make one of Skottie and gift it to them and Megan and stuff. But I'm such a perfectionist, like it has to be perfect, or else
Yeah.
I can't. But I've wanted to even like get in, because I mean 3D printing is so accessible now. So I'm a 3D modeler, so I could concept 3D model and print them out. I did see some really cool ones. Somebody gave Nathan Fillion of some of his TV show characters recently that
Oh,
were
really?
really, really well done. I even had some professional help, I believe, from some people in the industry. I think comic or something. So,
Yeah, I think the Captain Malcolm Reynolds is the only one that he's got so far that's like an official
yeah,
license.
there's that one. Yeah, the ones they did
So,
were
which ones they do like Castle and the Rookie
uh
character?
it was John Nolan from his character on The Rookie, the cop
Okay,
show he's in right now, and then his character
excellent choice.
on Resident Alien, which he played an octopus on.
Yeah, he's
And
the
that was a funny when
at
they
the
took the
restaurant.
base. Yeah,
Yeah,
they took the base of Hank from Finding Dory and then painted that to make it look like his character. So
nice. I'm a drafter. We have to talk about 3D printing stuff.
there
We're
we go.
always
Yeah.
willing to talk it,
But no, I'm
but
100% with you. Yeah, if we ever got anything Scotty related, Funko Pop wise, hands down, they would instantly be in my pre-order cart. So
yeah. Uh, but the Mummy, I just happened to look on the screen. I was like, oh, we we would talk very much about the Mummy at all. We got
we've been getting sidetracked. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't think we've went off the rails as bad as we did last week. Last week was pretty monumental for how sidetracked I got. I know at least. So, but this one, Scotty had posted this was a daily sketch that he did a few years back, and it looks like the one on the left is before the Mummy got his life together, and the one on the right is the one that works the 9 to 5 job in the cubicle. And but I love the more serious tone. How Scotty can do the silly Mummy and do the serious scary Mummy and use the same technique except shift the face around a little bit, and you've got the exact. He can pull 2 different feelings out
Yeah.
of. Got to wrap up in.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, it's like you said. It's just the subtle differences. But yeah, I mean the face being one, because that is the Mummy's face from the movie itself, whereas the left is a little bit
Right.
more playful and kind of imaginative. But yeah, again, there is, like I said, there's just something about this stark white background and just having these characters pop and just focusing solely on them that
Yes.
that I like. And especially with this one, I think if anything was added behind it, it would detract from the colors of the mummy, the wraps themselves. I commented on the Instagram posted about it, but I just love that reddish yellowish tinge it has to it. Again, it just really sells
Yeah.
how old he is and how long he's been wrapped up in the sarcophagus and stuff. And just his pose again, he's always done the lanky characters so well. Yeah, it just looks great. So yeah. It just revealed his face. So
yeah, and I can't even imagine. I tried to picture when I first saw this, Tyler, what color would you even put behind it? I mean, other than white, because we discussed, is this the final? Is this the virgin cover? Is this going to be? And then whenever it was revealed that this was white, and then I tried to think of what color that you would put behind that would make the zombie, the mummy, those bandages pop the way they do, and I couldn't come up with a good color.
yeah, I mean, I'm not the best at color theory, especially being colorblind myself, but obviously your first thought, or most people's first thought, would be, the pyramids and being in something like that in a tomb. But again, you would get like the sandy color of the blocks in the background, and you could, do shadows and stuff to help make them pop and everything. But yeah, again, it's always an artistic interpretation, and I think especially with the way he's posed here, it's fitting, how much he takes up, and he's not necessarily in an environment per se, but yeah, no, I'd be curious, if he were to add one, yeah, what
What
he'd
it would be.
what he'd
Well,
go with, or yeah, if maybe he did some sketching, was like you said, he just didn't think it would work out and just decided to do just him solo.
you're
So
right. I did think of you on Saturday. Speaking of being colorblind and seeing that color of green that the mummy's in, uh, we had a few spots in our living room where the couch had kind of backed into, where the cats had scratched the wall that I needed to patch up and like put the right color of paint on the wall. Spoiler alert, I did not put the right color of paint on the wall. Not only did I touch up the paints, it's about that color of the mummy
mm,
green is the color of the paint I used. And I thought oh, it's going on dark. It'll lighten as it dries. Paint doesn't lighten that much as it dries. I went wild with it. I didn't even do a test spot. I painted the spots.
oh, you just went in. You didn't do a test spot. You just went full blind trust.
I thought I'm going to blend it. I have got a lot of paint. I'm going to make it look good. My son said, "Can I paint?" I said, "Sure, paint that area over there that don't even need painting." About an hour later, I went over and touched it, and I was like, "Am I colorblind?" It's dry. It's not lightening. And I took pictures and sent it to my wife, and she said, "What did you do?" And I said, I patched the spots. I had grabbed the paint from a piece of furniture that I had painted for her birthday, and like I had fixed up an old piece of furniture for her, and it was a slightly darker tone, and I had painted about half our living room with it. So now I've got to find the other paint to fix it. So
well, now now it's just an artistic interpretation. The wall is kind of like a Picasso, or just something like that. So
yeah, I felt really really bad about that. And as I saw, I was like, maybe if Tyler came in, he might not even know the difference. But I have a feeling you would even notice it. It's pretty terrible. So
I'm always second guessing my color choices and making sure I've got the right thing. And even then, I still run into trouble. So
well, Will, I'm not bypassing your comment there, but we'll get into your comment here in a few minutes when we get to the sketches. We're going to talk about those as well. So I didn't want to think I was glossing over it. But anyway, this released today. This was I ended up, I was going back and forth. I just started to get a raw copy of it unsigned, and I went ahead and got a CGC copy just because I've got the other ones. I was scared to death. If I tried to grade it on my own, I would not get a 9.8.
That's fair, yeah, especially with the white cover itself. So
yeah. Oh, cool. Ray has been on this as well. Hey, Ray, what's going on? Well, I got to see the comment about the paint now. I missed Steve if you use the same paint originally used. It would have been, but the blending that I did would have made it look so wonderful, Ryan. You would have never been able to tell the difference. You can tell a difference now. We've had people come in our house since then and say, "Oh, are y'all remodeling?" And my wife's like, "Nope, Dustin touched up a few spots."
Dustin I was.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture after the show, Tyler.
Yeah, you have to let me see. So
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. All right, but what could come next? We've looked back at what is now, what will be, uh, and the first one we've kind of alluded to is the Wolfman or the werewolf, and these are some of the images of wolves that Skottie has painted in different various sketches. Uh, Tyler, you're going to have to help me because we got the Never-Ending Story,
yep,
Little Red Riding Hood, and
yep.
Gibi.
Yep, Ghibli, yeah, Princess Mononoke. So
Gibi. Okay, so it's not
Ghibli.
Gibi. Ghibli.
No, yeah,
Ghibli
Ghibli, yeah,
movie.
Ghibli, yeah.
You sound like you're talking baby talk to me. Ghibli. Ghibli. Okay.
We're speaking about Scottie's work, so that the baby stuff fits in.
It is very, very well. When I saw that, whenever I grabbed this image, I saw that you had liked it, and I thought, well, Tyler knows. Tyler's going to know. And you had commented on the series, so I was like, Tyler knows what this is. I'm safe. I'm safe on this.
Yeah, no, I love the Ghibli movies. Princess Mononoke is one of my more favorites. Funny enough, too, they're releasing it in IMAX for the first time this month. Unfortunately, there's no IMAX theaters near me, or else I would go there in a heartbeat. But yeah, really, again, anything animated by Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki are just some of the most gorgeous animated films you'll ever watch. Guy's like 90 something and has retired like 4 or 5 times and is still just back at it. He'll for sure probably pass at his desk drawing whatever movie he's working on currently. But yeah, no, this one, and then like you said, Never Ending Story, yeah, classic ones. And yeah, interesting. I'd be curious because the closest I feel like we get is kind of the Never Ending Story to that older style of his that he's been doing, the more lanky and not rough, but it's just more loose and less clean outlines. So yeah, I really hope he does. This is the one I've been waiting for the entire time. So excuse me, fingers crossed that this is the next one I would think that we would get most likely. So
yeah, and then also picture the pants, the jeans tore, the flannel shirt with like the Wolfman hair coming through, and
yeah, him turning,
yeah, and so the version that we're talking about, these other characters here, like the mummy, you could just see the Wolfman, the outfit being fully dressed, the full moon, similar to Dracula. There, that's where you're catching him right past post transformation. So
yeah,
the image on the far right there, that's fully colored, it's really vibrant colors and everything other than the wolf itself and some of the background. So I don't know. I really hope that Image does put out a Wolfman series so we can get that. And it looks like they're doing them about every 5 months or so.
Yeah. I was gonna say if there was, I think if we get any more, it'll for sure at least be this one. If they only do one more, but yeah, I'd hope again. Obviously it depends on these covers, but this is one I'd hope we get a few trees, maybe a big moon, kind of like Dracula, and like you said, the Wolfman mid transition, and yeah, I can see that being a really really awesome cover. So.
Oh, I think so, and it's probably are the ones we're about to talk about. It's the one if we at least get this one, I'll feel like we have a full set. Like the other ones are just going to be icing on the cake, but I think this is the one. Even the one we're about to talk about. Yeah, the Invisible Man's another one that I think would be a nice, a nice addition. But I think the Wolfman's like the last core character that you need to complete the team.
Yeah, I'd be really shocked if we don't get a Wolfman. I mean, again, there was literally just another Wolfman movie that just came out. And again, the Wolfman, there's a Wolfman ride at Universal, part of the new park and everything. So yeah, Wolfman, is just as much a critical part as those other ones. But yeah, Baby Wolf Boy, yeah.
Well, they need to put out some Universal Monster blanks.
That would be really cool. It'd be really fun to see some remarks of some Universal Monsters creatures. And again, this is one I like you said would be icing on the cake and would be the one that I hope would kind of break the mold and just go really silly with it. As we've talked about, just even having a blank cover would be, I mean, obviously they're not going to go, that, but even just like his glasses floating there, or like the bandages coming off and he is like I don't know, maybe he's like mid undressing. He's like, oh, like he's like got caught,
Yeah,
taking his bandages off and he's invisible. But yeah, no, it'd be I could see it's a lot of funny ideas and jokes floated around for this one. So
and also I have never seen the original Universal Monsters Invisible Man movie, and I did not realize he had the little toupee on top of his bandages. Like
yeah,
he's fooling everybody with that one. Like
I know, yeah,
I
it's like
didn't really.
okay.
I love that one. So
I've seen it once or twice, but I don't remember it as much as the others. Like there's maybe like a scene or two that pops to mind, but yeah, we watched the other ones more than we did this one. So
let's see. The next one, of course,
mm.
Henry Jackal. So Dr. Jackal and Mr. Hyde. Could be a fun having both the characters pre and post transformation on that one. That's what.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
this one, yeah. I was gonna put that comment up there.
took everything for me not to put a blank page for the Invisible Man.
I
told
know,
Tyler,
yeah.
I did not do that.
No, yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I mean, that'd be like you said, it could be really weird and twisty. Almost, I kind of think of the Mind the Gap, type of cover,
Oh,
like just something,
yeah.
kind of more trippy and out there, or even, a more intense Dr. Jekyll. I think of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, or even Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing, where it's like a big hulking,
Yeah.
almost like a Hulk-like kind of creature. So yeah, again, like you said, would be another fun one. So yeah, the floating glasses.
uh, and I put this on there. I saw this picture and I thought the first comment I would get is that's Lily Monster. That's not the
Yep.
bride, but it's close enough. It's close enough. This is what we have until we get to that point. Yeah, whenever I was looking up the Universal monster movies, Abbott and Stella, I didn't realize they were considered like canon in the Universal monster movies. But yeah, they're right there in that series of about 20 to 25 movies that are considered the Universal monster. So those are the sillier side of them. But who doesn't love Abbott and Costello?
Yeah, and I was gonna say this would be, like you said, Bride, and honestly, I could even see Bride maybe even above, closer to be like the Wolfman and Invisible Man and stuff. I was looking up. That's why my eyes were rolling into the back of their
Oh,
heads. But
I'm worried
I
about you.
they released. I'm a massive collector of steelbook. I collect movies, but I collect steelbook movies, specifically the metal cases that movies came in. They're not as popular now, unfortunately, but they included 7 movies in that one, and that was their Universal Monster set, and or 6 movies, I think. And they have 7 here, and it's Frankenstein, Mummy, Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, Wolfman, Invisible Man, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. So those were the core ones they had in that set. So again, I think Bride of Frankenstein could very well fit in there close to Invisible Man and Wolfman.
So their essential series has those in it. So that's
Yeah, so yeah, that was their 7, box collector set, and those were ones that those were done by Alex Ross. The covers for the steelbooks themselves were done by Alex Ross. His artwork was on them. So yeah, I definitely could see that,
okay. So we're digging a little deeper, but still, Phantom of the Opera, especially with this design, would be a good character. I'm not sure if Image would want to invest a full miniseries in it, but I mean it's creepy enough where it could be told by the right person. I'd love to see a Skottie image of the Phantom.
Yeah, no, it would be a really fun. It's one of my favorite musicals. I love Phantom of the Opera. I got to see that live in New York. But and the classic monster movie as well was really good. And yeah, I would love to see, like you said, his take on the Phantom here. So
Well, growing up in chorus here in Middle Kentucky, or choir is one of our classes, we sung many a song from Phantom of the Opera, and probably when I say many, probably one or two. But I've always loved Phantom's music. Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber,
yep.
Soft Spot. So
Masquerade is my personal favorite. What's yours?
All I Ask of You. That's
a good one too. Again, there's so many on there that are really good. But yeah, it's it's always interesting, to see people's favorites. So
Yeah, I'm surprised the viewers start dropping. We've bypassed Disney and skipped did not collect $200 and went straight to musicals. So
we went Universal instead this time. So
that's right. That's right. We're good with that. We're good. All right, and last but not least, this lovely fellow, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Notre Dame, however you want to say it, potato, potato. I like this design. This is a tight design of a character that Disney has ruined the image of.
Excuse me. It is interesting, yeah. The to see Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's how I say it. Would be interesting to see, the more spooky, freaky, take on the character that he used to be before. Yeah, it was Disney-fied. So
this guy just looks like he's screaming, "I just got to be me." I mean, he's such a happy fellow. I like
very. He's channeling his inner Schmeagol, his inner Gollum.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh man, there's another rabbit. I gotta chase it. Do you see that the Lego is putting out the
yes, the Shire. Set? Yep. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be the gift with purchase. Is going to be the Smeagol and the other one, the boat that.
He and his brother are in.
It's like, it's not Peagle, but Smeagol and Smeagol and.
I thought it was Deagle, or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm trying not to get too sidetracked on it to lose more viewers, but I saw that.
Deagle is his brother. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's supposed to be
I remember that. That's funny.
So Smeagol and Deagle.
Very cool. I didn't know about the gift with purchase, but that was one that I was very excited when it was announced and getting to see it. It's looks like it's a really well done set, so I'll be curious to see the interior for it.
Oh yeah, whenever they finally, I think it releases here in like 3 or 4 weeks too. So if I'm wrong about the gift of purchase, I apologize to all the people watching that are very excited about this Lego set. But some of these massive Lord of the there goes a viewer. Some of these massive Lord of the Rings sets that Lego is putting out is pretty incredible. But I won't say anything.
No, they definitely are. Yeah,
I'm sorry about that, guys. Return of the Daily Sketches. They're back. Yes. So now let's go up to.
I was gonna say you're going to find it. There we go.
I can't find it. It might. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. My screen froze up. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? And Skottie is trying his best to get us there. Oscar, Cookie Monster, and Big Bird.
And these were. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Did you see on Skottie's post where he put it on Facebook? There's an artist commenting on these, and he posted an image of Cookie Monster having like a never-ending body. It's pretty haunting. He's like, this. I can't. Skottie was interacting with him, but he's like, I just picture Cookie Monster having this elongated body that the cookies are never-ending. They're just a constant flow of food going in, and it's haunting and kind of thought-provoking at the same time. But that's all I had to say. Sorry.
I could see that. Yeah. No, I was gonna say I like to think that I had a hand in Cookie Monster being second, because that was the one that I commented on that I wanted to personally see on his Instagram. I was like, man, I really hope we could see Cookie Monster, which I think he's previously done. I think somebody had posted a Cookie Monster he's done before. I could be wrong. But
maybe I can't recall if he's did one of those or not.
Yeah, he's done. He did one on a blue back when he would do the color.
Yeah. A concept.
And it was a more, cartoony, fun looking one. But it was really cool to be like, man, I hope Cookie Monster's next, and then for Cookie Monster to be there. But Oscar was a great start. These are just super fun. I love that these are more again that, and it's fun too, because it's one of those things like he talked about falling out of love with sketching, and then clearly something happened where again it's just, hey, the mood struck me, and these were, hey, I want to draw these. I want to draw Sesame Street, and he seems like he's having a blast. These are some excellent sketches. Just so fun. The characterizations of the characters, again, sticking to who they are, but just really, pushing that Skottie style, especially, and then Big Bird, I saw a lot of the quotes about how his demeanor, how he looks like he's on drugs or something. So, these are all super fun. Like I said, Cookie Monster is my personal favorite. So, like Blanco said, I would love to see some prints of these. So,
Oh yeah, and Dave McCaig is the artist that Scotty's interacting with that presented that picture of the Cookie Monster, and you can look it up after the show and check it
Yeah,
out.
I'm definitely gonna pull that up just to see what that looks like. So
and the other thing that Scotty had posted about the Big Bird after someone David commented was that he's not even thinking about what they would look like. Oh wait, that's a wrong comment. He says really means it's fun drawing these guys and pushing them beyond puppets. So as you're looking at these, you can kind of see these are more than just the puppets that are released on Sesame Street. This is kind of the characters brought into the real world, and yeah, these are all really cool.
yeah, no, I mean you could definitely see that, especially with Cookie Monster. I mean, kind of your elongated comment. I mean, I like that he looks like an animal. I mean, out of all of them, I mean, he's the most. It's like, oh, that's not like you said, puppet. That's a live creature. So
Yes, which would all of these would probably be terrifying if you met them on the street, but they fit in really well with our universal monster drop today because
they do,
they're a
yeah,
different type of monster, but they're the
exactly.
friendly one. Yeah, I think the only I've seen a few of the ones they did like the Elmo that's zombified, which is really fun. There's one of gosh, I can't remember what it was now. I've got it. There's one of Oscar the Grouch, and I'll have to find it here. Bear with me one moment.
Yeah, the zombified Elmo, yeah, is wild.
Yeah, I guess I've deleted it. It was one where I think it had Kermit and Oscar in it.
I was going to say, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like Kermit is slitting Oscar's
Yeah, I was trying to be careful what to say here so we didn't get kicked off of YouTube. but yeah, that's I was trying to put it politely, but
pretty graphic image, yeah.
Yeah, he's a Ned Stark in him is what I guess you could say.
There you go. Yeah, a good way of putting it. Yeah, that was 2011. So
yeah, he doesn't break the news; he springs it. Breaking news on another Skottie AMA.
Ooh, DC cover coming soon.
Could it be Lobo? Could it be Lobo? Okay, they should make a print with all of them in it, Brady Bunch style. I would buy that in a heartbeat, especially if there's more of these coming down the pipeline, which I'm sure there may be. That would be a very fun poster to see. All right, now Seth is going to have everybody running away from the show to check out the AMA by Skottie. Like I'm fixing to be like, all right, guys, we're all in this together. Let's all just take 5 minutes and take a break and go look at our phones and see what questions are being answered, and then we can pick up right where we left off. But we will sacrifice and carry on for you. I've lost Tyler.
Yeah, I was just making sure.
No. I thought you froze up. I'm sorry.
No. I was running through the questions to make sure. But yeah, it's looks like we'll be getting a newsletter soon for the next exclusive DC cover. So.
Oh. All right, so we're gonna get into our Skottie cover March Madness bracket update, and what a week it's been, folks, for everybody watching at home. Play-in round 1, which is our only play-in round, matchup number 3. There were some blowouts in there. These were lopsided victories. These were what you would see in 1 versus 16 seeds. Dre won pretty easily over Warren with a 54-14 victory. And we've mentioned before multiple baby covers of different various Spider-Verse characters versus an independent, more artistic approach to Ain't No Grave. It wasn't much of a contest. Dre edged him out quite convincingly.
Yep.
The other one, Ray won 49-29, another lopsided victory, with Ray Rivera beating Matt Gilmore. And this is funny. When I announced this, it took me up until about 2 days ago to realize what Matt was talking about. When he said, Skottie had commented whenever Skottie was on, when Megan was on, and he was commenting back and forth with Matt, saying, "Oh, man, you drew the turtles." And I was like, does Matt draw? Is Matt an artist? It's like, did Matt draw the turtles at Heroes or at these other times?
I see what you're saying, and drew
And I was like, he drew in the match. So
yeah.
it took me a while to catch up to that, but thankfully, we don't have to talk about that much more because the Turtles are going on to try to dominate another team. And Ryan, the second to last matchup we'll talk about, Ryan. This was our round one matchup one. So we're getting into our round of 16 now. Jerry, this was his first year in the competition, and he will be no longer with us in the competition. So Ryan won his second matchup by beating Jerry by a score of 35-23. And then Ray said Cowabunga. He's our turtle guy. And this score is what prompted Will to post his comment on the group saying, hey, y'all need to vote. There's voting to be done. And for anybody that happens to wander upon this show that has no idea what we're talking about, the Skottie Young Appreciation Group on Facebook, look it up and join. Skottie Young Appreciation Group on Facebook, swiftly approaching 9,000 members strong, holds a bracket cover bracket challenge of Scottie's covers that go head to head in a poll until we eliminate one at a time, and we're down to one true champion for the cover, the winning cover for this year's matchup. So, talk really fast. All right, matchup 2, which ended about 1 hour ago. John wins by a lot, 67-18. Wow. Will's comment worked, but it didn't help out our friend
not
Corey.
To say, not for Corey, unfortunately.
So we're almost to your matchup, Tyler. We're almost to Seth's matchup. Right now, we are currently on matchup number 3, which is Will versus Gerard. And the current score is 10-8, with Will having a small edge over and Transformers 1 was the runner-up last year to the A versus Avengers versus X-Men cover for Midtown Comics that ended up being the champion. And this one will end on Friday, and we'll kick off to see if Skottie can make up for getting kicked out in the first round last year, and see if he can, and the winner will be Shuri. Will's feeling confident with that 10-8 lead.
Well, it's now a 10-9. I just voted for Transformers, so.
Oh. Tyler.
Breaking news.
We don't really want viewers. we just want to sit here and talk with each other.
Well, the drama is what brings the viewers in. The drama of the match. So that battle's what makes it fun. That back and forth. So.
Oh no, Seth is
coming here too. Yeah. I know it's rigged. They caught you, Dustin.
Gosh, I haven't. You know how many times I voted so far in this year's tournament?
0.
I'm trying to remain impartial. I might vote for Scottie's just to I was like, we want him to keep on being in the competition, so we can keep it going.
And it turns out Scottie's the winner just for everyone's bias.
So he can win the trophy and be like, which, like I said, I thought that was going to happen last year. And you all were brutal. It wasn't even like a close victory, which I don't know if everybody knew that was actually the Skottie Young that had picked the cover in the competition.
I was going to say, even with the Something's Killing the Children, I would assume people would just go, oh, it's Skottie Young's cover, of course, not, oh, that's Skottie Young picked that cover. So,
yeah, that's true. And with the 7 people that we have watching this show, he's going to need a lot more voters than that to know that it's him to like shift it. But he's up against a tough cover. Dre's got a good cover there. But
that one's a good matchup. I think we'll see, not just for Scottie's sake, but see a good fight off there. Or maybe I'm totally wrong, but I think everyone really liked that Something's Killing the Children cover. So
yeah, the Erica Slaughter cover is really good. So I like the Edge of Spider-Verse cover, but having the prelim that's kind of based off of the Daily Sketch, I really want to vote for it.
You're biased, yeah.
So I might have my wife and daughters vote for it, all the ones that have Facebook pages. So just to try to help it out. So
there you go.
So we finally got to this portion of the show, an hour in. I thought this was going to be a quick show again tonight, but I should have known better. Any new Skottie items in your collection this week, Tyler?
Yes, I had made my post, but Some of my more favorites, I really was pleased to pick up this Ironheart here. I at least want to have all the Iron Man covers if I can. Some of the ones are a little bit more harder to find. And then I've got the Magic cover, which is funny because I've passed on it before, having never really read Magic before. But being in the
That's a
Marvel
cool cover.
Rivals,
That's a
yeah, I
cool-
really
yeah.
like her character design. And looking at this again in the store, I was like, man, this is a really cool cover. The red, the lightning, her on the front of it. So I picked that one up. And then I also picked up 2 more of the pink I Hate Fairyland variant covers in preparation for potential remarks or commissions or things like that.
That's smart.
And then the last few are I picked up some more stickers to place on my boards here. So I can't see anything out of my corner, but I like filling these in with all the stickers I get from Skottie's site. So starting to fill that one out there. And then last but not least, but got some more prints, filling out my an original print here. So I picked up some of these Spider-Man ones that I was missing out on. Again, these are super great. I really love these. They're just super fun to look at, especially having them in this binder where I can just flip through them and see the art up close and see all the inks and stuff, especially for ones like this this 2014 Spider-Man here. Again, just seeing the difference in the way he signs, his signature, even the little details like the little spider webs he put in the very bottom for his signature there. So those were all of my pickups that I got recently.
Yes, all the other unoriginal art prints are numbered. The first batch was it numbered out of 150, and the second batch is out of
150.
75.
Yep. Yeah. So they have to, for the second bunch of 75. So I don't know if I did. Is that the Stanley cover one? I think that's what we're referring to.
Oh, did you? Oh, come back, Tyler. Okay, sorry. We tried to remove him. Yeah, we tried to both remove him from the solo at the same time, and it overloaded the system. We crossed streams, unfortunately.
There you go. You never cross the streams.
So
yeah,
I'm gonna go big, and then hopefully it doesn't cut me off. But
I'll be prepared to pull us back if need be. Yeah.
All right. I had a few things that popped up this week. This literally came in the mail right before the show started. So
very nice.
Non-chrome Silver Surfer. Oh man, it's got a leaning issue. It's like very easy to topple over.
Yeah, that one is the most worrisome out of the bunch. The Mysterio.
The Mysterio, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, that one's a really clean one. I like the way they did the shading on the back of his helmet.
One of the cool things about the Silver Surfer that I didn't notice is right here, it's got a blue line on it. So it's not just completely, I thought it was completely silver.
Black.
And then last but not least, this was from a Comic Link, I think, auction. This is a Ramos Strange Academy page that I won
very cool.
about a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, somewhere, I think in January. And it came in the mail over the last week. So I've been wanting a Strange Academy page of original art. And this one.
Yeah, very cool.
Had some cool stuff on it going on. So picked it up. So that was my. There you go. Thank you. I was trying to
I had it locked and loaded. So I knew as soon as you didn't need to be full screen, you were wanting to go back.
Thank you, Becker. Yeah, I don't like to be full screen longer than I have to. So thank you, Ray. And that we don't want anything else to hurt our viewership, so we try to keep me small as possible. So, all right, new releases. Man, I moved over the title, then I had to add this page. I told Tyler I messed up because on previews, this was originally listed to release on March 5th, whenever I pre-ordered it, and that's when I had it in my calendar. And then I had this. There was nothing. Wow, man, that really goofed up because it's got the 8 deaths even at the wrong thing. But anyway, we added this to the slide late. So this is did anybody pick up this cover this week?
It's picked up. It's just in my box. So I just need to go this weekend to get it. I would love to go Wednesdays. It's like about a 40-minute drive, and by the time I leave, it'd be the work rush hour, and it's just easier to go on the weekends. So
I forgot these were the two other issues that I got. Speaking of 8 deaths,
Mm.
this also came in my pull list from Clan McDonald Comics, and the one that Tyler hated the worst out of all the Skottie covers. The finished last
Oh,
one.
man.
Like, no, it's still a great one. It's still
throwing
really
under the bus, the frog, if you will.
I had to pull that one up one more time. So, yep, and the 100, probably my favorite. It ranked really high. I think it was number 5 or 4 in our list last week. Number 5.
Yeah.
Because Vulture was 4. It's been a long week. I can't remember what it was, but
no, that's completely
yeah,
fine. I'm also blanking. So,
well, I know the number 1 was the Itsy Bitsy Spider. The number 2 was the Skottie. Maybe it was number 4. But anyway, we have to go back and watch the episode.
It was. Yeah, I would say it's a good reason for people to go back and rewatch that episode. But yeah, this one's a great one. I can't wait to get this one in person and look at it. So,
yep, I agree 100% on that one. All right, and this one of Tyler's favorite characters, and who doesn't love Iron Man? Iron Man is so awesome.
Well, Skottie doesn't like Iron Man, or at least doesn't like drawing. Doesn't like drawing.
Picked up on what I was saying. So.
Again, it's so funny.
Such a great job.
I know he does such a good job. Again, I love his armor choice. I love that it's the more classic Iron Man with the bulky gauntlets, that specific shaped head faceplate. Yeah, I cannot be more excited for this one. Most likely we'll be picking this one up from the shop slabbed.
Yes.
Just because I just love this cover so much. So
very cool. And the other drop from today, other than the mummy for the Skottie Shop, was the We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. And I'm not going to drone on and read everything. Are we going to have to kick your buddy out?
We're definitely going to have to kick him out. So
I saw that from my peripheral vision, and it's like I'm feeling heat rising up in my chest as I read that. So,
oh goodness,
he's a billionaire. Come on. Anyway, I'd have lost it.
Y'all
can read this on your own time, but it's got a really good description of what this book's going to be about. So, and the Skottie's cover is so fun. I mean, that's the tone of the actual art looks a little different than what Skottie. It doesn't look like the girl is having as much fun as Skottie looks like he's making her have in this. But
what is? Oh goodness, I'm blanking on the. It reminds me of for some reason Brian Otley's Grizzly Shark, where the dad is carrying his kid on his back. Way more explicit that one is, but yeah, no, that's it's for some reason now my mind jumps to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm always for a book that not only I want to get because of the cover art, but also one because of the interiors as well. And again, so much of what Image is putting out right now has been so freaking fun to read. And I'm always looking for new Image stuff to to dive into.
No, and then they hadn't, and to answer Will, they hadn't sold out as the last time I checked, right before the show went on.
And funny enough, I had them up just for that occasion as well, and they have not sold out. And that goes for all 3 versions: the unsigned, the signed, and then the CGC. So,
but with that low of an edition size and the con's about to start up where they can actually take their books, their shop exclusives, I wouldn't see these hanging around too long. But I was reading some of the description there, and this is a story about a girl and her dead dad's robot and a journey of regret and retribution. So it definitely does not play with the tone that the fun cover that Skottie has there. But I just love this cover. I actually, don't shoot me, but this being a show about Universal Monsters, I preferred this cover over the Mummy cover whenever I was looking at these today. So.
No, it's a fun one. Yeah, like Britton was saying, it does throw you off. Like you look at it and you're like, man, this is super fun, and you crack it up and you're like, whoa, this is
what's the book?
Fun,
The Missionary, or
the Missionary. That one's funny enough. Like does kind of give you a hint of like, oh, okay, this is going to be a pretty raunchy comic with all the stuff that's blacked out bubble wise. But yeah, that one is that's definitely one of my more favorites in terms of like what you get on the cover versus what you get on the inside. So
yep. Oh, it's like, oh, let your kids read this one. It's like the first 2 or 3 panels of that comic. It's like, no, I felt uncomfortable reading it. So
it's taken a while because I recently had to look it up again because I'm like, man, issue 2's taken a while to come out.
yeah, that's right. It hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. But yeah, that one I grabbed Ryan Otley's and Skottie's as well. They both did one. So and I kind of digging. I've been seeing it more, especially with not indie, but more like Image and stuff where they're doing that kind of magazine type format, which I dig. It's harder to keep. Right now I don't have a box that holds them, so I have to stay on top of everything. But I do kind of like having a different format like that gives you a bigger area for artwork. So
man,
and the fun wraparound covers that we got.
I had to check the score again. It's 14-14, so it's neck and neck. This may be the closest one yet.
Ooh, there we go.
All right, I think that's it. We made it in an hour and 15 minutes. I feel like we need to talk about something else now that we've got some free time. But Heroes 2025 potential fan meetup. As we have announced before, we'll say it again. Me and Tyler will both be at Heroes this year, the week of June 20, 21st, and 22nd, and we will be doing a Skottie Talk live from the show from somewhere that weekend, and that is about
figuring that out and what that looks like still currently. So,
but we also anybody that wants to come to the show, Seth, I don't know if he's still on here or not, but Dre, I think had mentioned before. Hopefully Becker, I was watching him on 4C Comics last night. Is another great YouTube page to follow for great art with a bunch of great guys talking about great art with different artists. I believe he had mentioned 4C's bringing a huge lineup of artists to that show as well. And I think Becker may be there. But anybody that maybe Thursday night or whenever we can come up with to just meet at a restaurant somewhere and talk Skottie, talk about how much fun we have on Skottie Talk and who our favorite host is of Skottie Talk. So,
hey, wait, point down one more time.
Yeah. Remember the
yeah, pull me down.
Yeah, we haven't worked that out. To bring back Abbott and Costello. We've got the two of us, so we do our best. Whitney and Larcy, there we go. But we really hope we can meet up with a bunch of you all and just talk Skottie and talk comics and talk Disney or Lego if you want to. So message one of us and we'll try to start a group chat for the people that actually want to go do that eventually.
Yeah, because like Dustin said, it's definitely one of those things where it's out of my mind and then it's like, yeah, it's coming up, 3 months and then it'll be 2, 1, and then it'll, be the time to go. So just reach out and let us know for sure. And it was we had a blast last year, and I'm really looking forward to going back and getting to do all that, especially because you get to stay a little bit longer with it not lining up with Father's Day and getting to watch the auction show and stuff. So
I've never been to one of the Heroes auctions, so I'm really looking forward to that and seeing. And also, we had talked a little bit about this before, but on Friday night at the Westin, they do the drink and draw where they have the little coasters where you can bid on coasters that are did by the different artists there and where they put little art on them. So that might be a fun thing to attend to see what all kinds of art gets produced there, while maybe some of them are slightly intoxicated. So, so we might meet at that, but if nothing else, we'll meet over by the food area and get one of the round tables accommodated for our group and chat and
chicken nuggets on Dustin. So
on me. Don't say that. There goes my art budget. It's like all of a sudden we'll have 10 new members to our group.
Free chicken, yeah. All of a sudden the numbers just start skyrocketing.
Yeah. He said it. Now I've got to do it. So
just got to mention free, the word free, and people flock. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. Seth's in there.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. So Seth was kind enough, and I really am appreciative of Seth. He offered to help me pay for everybody's chicken nuggets. So he's a great guy. So me and Seth will be footing the bill, and Tyler will be buying dessert for everybody. So y'all please make it happen.
Love desserts. So that sounds good to me.
Everybody's getting a single Oreo, and we'll be happy about it. So,
Yeah, you'll like it.
all right. So if you, if you all, yeah, his woohoo quickly turned into this face. Yes, that is correct. All right. If you all want to come on here and hang out with us on a Wednesday night to spend an hour and a half talking about nonsense, you are more than welcome to. My name is Dustin Whitney. His name is Tyler Laracy. We are both members of the Skottie Young Facebook group. Skottie Young Appreciation Group on Facebook. So join the group, message us, and say, hey, I just want to come out and talk Skottie and anything Skottie related. You're more than welcome to come join and hang out. We've had 4 people do it so far, 2 celebrities, 2 non-celebrities, and I feel bad for calling Seth and Dre non-celebrities.
I was gonna say, Seth is gonna have a field day. So
yeah, 2 important people, 2 non-important people. But
nobody's gonna want to come on the show. Yeah,
nobody wants to hang around with those jerks. No, we appreciate everybody that's came on, and we've had a blast with all 4 people that came on. And I always have a blast with just me and Tyler on here. So that'll be my sign off. Tyler, anything else you got to say before we call it a night?
Nope. Just as we've been signing off, recently, just stay fresh and live messy. And we'll see you guys back here next week, Wednesday. And, we'll figure out what we're going to talk about then. But there's endless amount when it comes to Skottie and his work. So look forward to seeing y'all there.